contenders or pretenders? Rogue and Mad Lions. Emily, you started there.
Yes.
Which of these teams are pretenders? Which of these teams are contenders?
I'm going to cross my fingers because every time I talk about how much I love Mad Lions, the stream cuts out. It's happened like 3 times now. Anyway, if I have to pick one as a pretender and the other as a contender, I'm going to pick Mad over Rogue. I actually think they'll both be contenders. But let's talk about Mad Lions. I think they're flexible enough to go through multiple meta iterations, and they've already proven that. Despite the fact that I do think they've made a name for themselves having a lot of early proactivity and aggression. We've seen them experiment with a whole bunch of different compositions with I don't want to say varying degrees of success because I feel like they've been mostly successful outside of a few hiccups that we saw this past week. There's a general trend towards more of a bot lane focused meta, and I think the greatest strengths of the Mad Lions are their mid jungle synergy and also their bot lane. And so in this current meta right now, I think they fit in really, really well. And yeah, that's why I think previously they did beat G2, and I know a lot of people like to throw out that game for a lot of reasons. I don't think it was their strongest win, but I think they've already proven that they can take out the standard top teams when we think of top European organizations. So I want to say that this is Mad Lions summer. I want to see them do it.
Jacob, pretenders, contenders, who and who?
So conflicted here, as I've been a big proponent of both of these teams for a while. I think that Rogue is the contender and Mad Lions is the pretender if I had to split either way. And I say that as someone
I love both of these teams, too, but boo.
Yeah, as someone who's been big hype on both of these, I have more faith in Rogue being able to get it done when it matters in playoffs series than Mad Lions. I think Mad Lions is probably the better team, but they're the least experienced team, and I think experience does count for something when you play in series with a significant amount of pressure. In that regard, I think Rogue has a little bit more experience than Mad Lions in some regards, and I think that will carry them through. But it's hard to call Mad Lions a pretender because I do think that if they place any lower than 4th, I'll be stunned. So that's my thought as we head into playoffs very shortly.
Tyler, your picks.
It's obvious. I mean, I've been on the Rogue bandwagon since last year when they were bad, when they were very bad. When they first announced they were going to Finn, I was like, this guy is my username, except he took out the O, and it's much more clear than mine. So I was like, I got to follow this kid. They brought in Larson, the most hyped-up rookie from the mid lane kind of pipeline in the European regional leagues. Then this season, they got Hans Sama. They have Vander for the experience. This team, I do agree with Jacob, where I feel when I'm betting money on a team, I like the right kind of mixture of youthful talent with Larson and Finn, but you also have a rock anchor who has been through wars on the international level. That's Vander. Where you look at Mad Lions, and they are the sexier team. They get all the pub. They are could they be the next G2? Are these, mechanical gods of the, solo queue? Can they be the next big thing in International League of Legends? While everyone overlooks Rogue. Rogue is actually the better early game team by a long shot. They are the more exciting team in the early game. They are more dominant in the early game. They're the only team in Europe with a goal differential above 1,000 after 15 minutes. Everyone else is below 1,000, especially Mad Lions. Their early game is the cleanest and best in the entire league. They get the first 3 towers in a game 93% of the time. 93%. Their problem is finishing games, where they are very, very inconsistent. But when I look at the team from top to bottom, I think Rogue is the more complete team. And if I was going to bet on one team, not to just be a champion in Europe, but on the international stage, to go far in the international stage, to be that dark horse to make a really long run, I'm going to trust in Rogue, because when I look at the 2 star players in the mid lane, Humanoid and Larson, I think the two best mid laners in Europe, the split, I trust Larson more. He's the best team fighting mid laner probably in Europe, if one of the best in the world probably right now. Sometimes he's not, the flashiest player, as, they don't get the pub as Mad Lions do almost on every broadcast, but I still believe in Rogue. I don't care what people say. I don't care if all the excitement. I think Mad Lions are a very good team, and they can win a European title. But if I'm picking one team to go far at Worlds, I'm going with Rogue. I will not stop backing Rogue. Even when they're bad, I'm with them. Now that they're good, I will go even harder for them. Rogue will be your European champions this split. I'm saying it right now, proclaiming it. They will win.
They got some work to do, but I love that you did that so we can throw it up on social. That's excellent.
Hey,
Thank you for
who
that.
said Tactical is going to be top 3 all-pro in NA? This guy. He's going to be top 3 in 80 carries in NA. Tactical. Just my proclamations this year have been quite good. The
Yes.
John Son MVP thing, not so much, but the rest of them are quite good.
And your hair is still intact somehow. That we'll have to fix that another time.
Quarantine, kind of, yeah. It should be
that's a whole
dyed a
other
silly
topic.
color. It should be dyed a silly color right now. But when quarantine ends in LA, we will get that taken care of.
So the last time Mad Lions and Rogue met, Jacob, Mad Lions soundly defeated them. Of course, this was on June 27th, which seems like a lifetime ago, this split. They had a 10,000 gold lead. They won 11-4 in kills. It was just a decisive victory for Mad Lions. But this was in week 2. So now, fast forward to where we are now, we finally get the matchup, the rematch in the split. And for what I said in my fail, or what I didn't like, my hate in terms of them being neck and neck, I guess at least for this matchup, since they're playing on Friday, at least we get to set the tone for the Super Week between the top teams to build some separation there. So a little bit of a preview from the three of you. Jacob, let's start with you on this. Mad Lions versus Rogue going into this matchup. Who has the edge?
This may sound weird given what I just said earlier, but I actually think Mad Lions will win this match. But I don't think that's necessarily indicative of how they will perform in the playoffs. I think that Mad Lions in a single game format with Super Week definitely has more pressure, I feel, than others. And that's especially true in Super Weeks of old when they were in person. Because it's just it's a barnstorm of 3 games over a weekend and it's kind of exhausting. But nonetheless, I think that Mad Lions is the better team in a single game format. I think that Rogue is a better team when it comes to adapting and having higher pressure situations. So I will give the edge to Mad Lions here. I think that Mad Lions is going to be highly competitive, and I look to, like, every time we get this matchup or have had this matchup this summer, what's exciting to me is like the bot lane, because I like the bot lanes of both sides here. Like, in a lot of ways, Carzzy is what Hansama was 3 years ago. This like very exciting young player who 80 carry who has like a lot of discussion around him. I think Carzzy was probably the most hyped ERL history rookie of all of them that got signed this past offseason. And he's certainly lived up to that. Carzzy's really exciting to watch. Hans was like that years ago when he first joined Misfits. And we've seen Hans excel best too when he's with veteran supports too, because he was really good with Ignar. He's very good with Vander. And I like Kaiser. Like, not many people actually talk about him, but like maybe one of the underrated pieces of Mad Lions this split is Kaiser. Like, it's easy to look at Humanoid and Carzzy and go, yeah, those guys are great. And it's like, Kaiser's been really good too, though, like as a support. I think like, out of all the people signed to this team, like him and Arome have the lowest expectations for people, in my opinion, and coming into the season. And like Kaiser's really lived up, or like exceeded all of the expectations I think anyone had for him. So bot lane has me excited every time we see this matchup, but I will give the edge in a single game format to Mad Lions, and I think that Rogue is a better team when it comes down to series.